is a great thing. It's an easy to pick up hobby. It's really challenging, but it also will give you some good exercise. Now, many folks like to start birding in places like their backyard, and you can do that too. You can do that to get started, learn how to use equipment and the different informational supplies that we showed you a little bit earlier, but you can also get outside and go to a new place. What's really wonderful about birding is that it can also challenge your mind. Often people say, I've seen this little thing, it's about this big and it's brown and it's fast moving. And that's one of the great challenges of birding, is that you can stretch your mind and learn how to listen for and watch for these birds. So the fast moving little birds that are brown and up in the treetops, or sometimes like on the river here, you'll find birds that are slow moving. In fact, they're so slow moving that they're still and you might pass right beside them. So it'll give you a keen eye to develop, to notice what's in the environment around you. Where to begin? Where to begin birding? You could begin by going in your own backyard, as we said, but a couple of other places that'll help you focus on birds instead of the actual location itself would be to go to your smaller municipal parks or small preserves. And another idea is to use your local botanical gardens. And the reason that I recommend those is because instead of being very cognizant of navigating how to get in and out and through those places, they may be small, but they maybe have enough birds there for you to be able to focus on them. So the focus is on the birds and a little bit less on where you are and how to navigate your way through it. When you're birding, people often ask, well, which is better to do? Should I go by myself or should I go with other people? My answer is both have advantages. So let's talk about what those might be. Birding by yourself gives you a lot of freedom and the luxury to linger at a spot for a long amount of time if you really want to. It allows you to quietly listen and observe. It gives you the freedom to stay and watch and really understand the behaviors of the birds that you're seeing and hearing around you. And it doesn't necessitate that you move on right away. It gives you time to make notes. It gives you time to make recordings even, so that you can take them back for later. By contrast, birding with a group of people does have some advantages too. And some of those are that with a group of people, you may actually see and hear many more species, because there are more pairs of eyes and ears that you can learn from, learn technique from, and participate in and listen for things. So birding with a group does have the advantage in that you may be able to see and hear many more species of birds that way. Also with a group, if you're trying to learn technique, folks who are more experienced and seasoned in birding can share information and tips with you. One drawback it does have is that if you're going with a group of people, they may be on a schedule and you may not have the luxury of staying behind to photograph or record or make notes of birds that you're seeing and hearing, because you need to stay with a group. So either way, there are advantages to doing both. So try birding with both a group of people and then by yourself. If you're looking for a group of folks to go birding with to learn technique and just be able to see new locations, there are some tips that we have for you. The St. Lucie Environmental Resources Department has the guided nature programs in place so that we offer specifically birding programs for new folks and intermediate folks to get opportunities to bird with an expert guide and with a group so that they can see new locations, be guided through them, and see as many species as possible. Another great option is to go to your local Audubon Society chapter. In this case, it would be the St. Lucie County Audubon Society, and go with them on a guided field trip to a new location to share their knowledge and to be able to see more species of birds. There are some recommendations that we have for you in terms of getting the best experience both for yourself and for those around you. One of them would be to leave pets at home. Bringing a cat or a dog or other leashed animal with you, or even a horse, does have its drawbacks. It's a distraction for you to have to keep the animal under supervision, but it also has a tendency to scatter the birds to where you can't see them and can't hear them as well. So we recommend that when you go birding, you keep pets at home. Another recommendation is that we encourage you to get children involved in birding as an activity to help them build their skills in patience, identification, taking on a challenge. But, of course, children have to be in the right age group and the right ability level to really sufficiently get a good experience from birding. We have found that children who are 8, 9, and 10 years old are the perfect age to begin birding because often they can hold the binoculars, they can learn to orient them very well on an object, and then they can also begin to use the checklists and the field guides with a bit of alacrity and some bit of interest as well. So knowing what children are able to do and are willing to do and how they respond out in the field with you and with your birding subjects can actually enhance a birding experience for you and for them. When you're starting out birding, your seasons and weather conditions will mean a lot. For example, one of the reasons that I advise people when they're taking up birding to stay local, backyards, botanical gardens, small parks, is because the weather can change. And also because weather can impact how you're seeing the birds, what you're seeing and hearing, and what kind of experience you have. Much of that really does impact how the birds behave. For example, today we have a beautiful, bright, sunny day. We have some cloud cover and the wind is picking up. Wind often will be a predictor of how active birds may be in the trees. It tends to get them to quiet down and settle down. But the time of the year that you're going, for example, here in Florida, summertime is going to be hot, but you can still do it. Dry season is often favorable, but you won't see all of the bird life that's here in Florida that way because some of it will have migrated out. Your local weather conditions and your long range time of the year has a great impact on birding and what you'll see. You can bird in the rain. It's not impossible, and you will see things, especially if you're near the water. But keep in mind that it may impact your equipment. Also, where you're located has and makes a difference as well. If you're in a wooded hammock area, as we are today, that's got a little bit of an opening field that backs out to a wetland and a river, you're going to see a large diversity of birds. So be mindful of the time of the year that you're birding, in other words, what season and what month of the year. Also, where you are in Florida counts. Being near water is a huge attractant. Prepare and be mindful of the fact that winds suddenly may come up and may divert bird activity. Rains will also do the same thing, although hopefully you're only going to get that 20-minute shower we're all so famous for. So your weather and your conditions can definitely impact birding as well. Many folks have said to me, Eva, I'd really love to learn how to bird, but I'm not available in the morning, so it wasn't a hobby that I could readily take up. Well, I'm here to give you some good news, and that's birding can occur on a 24-hour clock. Don't let the time of day preclude you from getting outside and looking and listening for birds. Many birds are diurnal. In other words, their activity is really at its height during daylight hours. But it's not true for all species, and it's not true uniformly. Many folks have said to me, well, I've got to get up and I've got to go to work. I've got to get children off to school. Maybe they've got religious obligations on certain days of the week, so their mornings are not taken up. But you can be birding at different times of the day, different hours of the day, and still have a great experience. For many years now, the St. Lucie County Environmental Resources Department guided nature programs have offered a morning chorus program, a twilight chorus program, and of course, the ever-present and ever-famous owling. Birds are active in the morning, and that's very, very true. They are coming out of their sleep cycle where they've been hiding and staying silent over the nighttime hours, many of them, not all of them, and they begin to forage and they communicate with each other. But they're still active during the midday, the afternoon, and toward the late afternoon and the twilight, they're also still very active, and their activities are a little different. They're getting in their last meals for the night. They're checking and making their roosting areas ready for nighttime rest. And also there's a changing of the guard, so to speak, when some crepuscular animals and birds are more active, and you can see them as well. Carolina wrens tend to be very, very active, for example, in the very early morning hours and in the late afternoon, evening, twilight hours. If you're going birding at night, and you can certainly do that, owling is a really favorite activity for many birders. But don't forget to look for and also listen for birds like the common nighthawk and the bobwhite quail. Also, northern mockingbirds tend to sing at night too. So that beautiful song you hear really in the late dark hours might just be a northern mockingbird trying to lure you outside to look and listen for him. So birding can be done at all hours of the day and the night, and it just depends on what area is available and open to you and accessible at that time. Since we offer daytime and afternoon and nighttime programs, one good way to experience the preserves and the birds would be to come and enjoy them with us on county lands during one of those programs.